Hey, if the messages that I say in this video go way over your head, you're not programmed with sentience and sapience, you can write a comment that makes fun of my hat if you want. Hey, in this war happening right now, is who are the heroes? Are heroes the ones that go fight and die for the elites, not necessarily for their own ideologies or enough understanding to see if their ideologies even apply to this situation? Or are the heroes the ones that are born out of necessity and who defend not just their ideas but the right of others to decide what their ideas are? I mean, that's kind of an easy way to know who the good guys and the bad guys are. And too bad, because Russian soldiers who want to say that, hey, we were misinformed. Well, I don't think you understand the concept of being a soldier and how dangerous it is to allow yourselves to be misinformed that long and still consider yourself heroes. So when Putin pays your families, is he paying you to have been a hero or a slave to the elites? You figure it out. So, hey, do you guys know about petroleum wars, the oil wars? Do you know that Canada does this, Russia does this? Most countries do this. The ones that produce oil they'll sell their own at the highest profit. They'll even buy sometimes somewhere else that's cheaper because of the quality of how it's prepared. And they'll sell it to their own people at the highest profit possible. So like in Russia right now, again, if they produce a lot of oil and it's not going anywhere, shouldn't the oil be for their own people? Or they don't want that because more people will travel to where they can petition. Shouldn't the oil be like 1/10 of the price eventually, and to help them reestablish? Or is it just, oil wars are like the same. They're petroleum wars. So soldiers are manipulated from every country with these oil wars, and so are the consumers of these oil products. So why do people like in Russia or other countries, because it's pretty much the same everywhere, allow their loved ones, if they really love them, to choose a career of army, when they have a choice? Well, ask yourselves that, because you might be as responsible for your kids dying as the supposed bad guys are. And the other thing is, if people in Russia still agree to be sheep and they say, okay, well, we're just going to have to endure more hardships. Whether we win or lose, you will, because that's the way your system works. It pushes up to the elites. Like most places that use the monetary paradigm, and that is part of the oil complex or military complex. If you're willing to endure hardships, but not for the right reasons or the right long-term culture repair outcomes, then again, I'm getting back to you want to say Putin is the bad guy. He wants to say the other elites are the bad guys. But the bad guys are, again, the 99.8% of you. Misinformation, disinformation, whatever. Everybody uses it. Some people aren't even aware when they're doing it. They're too redneck to know that they're wrong. And they're too defensive even when they're provided the evidence that they're wrong. So they're so devolved in their thinking already. But if you keep doing that, if you keep fighting these kind of wars, right, the ones that disconnect you from reality, then you're devolving your own species at the cost of the biosphere and your kids and grandkids that will, they have no other place to live but the biosphere. So again, you are the bad guys. Even if you're fighting back with the same strategy, it's a cultural evolutionary dead end. You will finish by also devolving your species. So again, who are the bad guys? People using strategies like this, even if you think it's justified to save people, is you can just say, we can't answer that because it would put people at risk. But to actually put wrong information, again, is disconnecting all of you from reality. And you've already now, it's been a long time actually, come to the point where you can't even tell the difference between what is real or not real, because you've been doing this for too long. Hey, let's say a hero is somebody who has a nationalist or patriotic, a worldview or ideology or values. Well, in today's world, and in the world coming very soon, increasingly more, there'll be conflicts between your imaginary nations, because you see yourselves as being divided in these weird, minuscule, microscopic ways, where when you believe that, you're easily manipulated by the elites. So, what's better? If everybody right now, let's say, became Ukrainians, everybody had that nationality everywhere on the planet, that was the miracle that happened overnight. Would the world be a better place? No. Because it still disconnects you from reality. What you belong to are the Earth system sciences and the social systems that are now all interconnected everywhere. And to actually change your worldview of this planet you belong to, this ecocentric worldview, to an ideology that's limited and again disconnected from the reality of the natural world at the level that nationalism would be, again, you're an evolutionary dead end if you think that's the miracle to end the war. If somehow overnight something happens in your brains, this patriotic God decides, okay, everybody's a Ukrainian tomorrow and that stops the war. What an ignorant God would do such a thing. Again, like putting a band-aid on a broken arm for what's missing up here. So if what Putin is saying is true, that he's defending people, Russians or people of Russian descent or that identify as Russians that are in Ukraine, then I don't know why I haven't seen one video, either from the misinformation of this side or that side, that shows, women and children that identify as Russians going towards, the border of Russia to be safe. I haven't seen any of these videos. So why are you not asking this? If everything Putin is saying is true, and the convincing that he's trying to do with his rhetoric, by the way, is hardly ever related to reality. Rhetoric is related to convincing somebody of an opinion. And it might actually not even be the opinion of the person doing the rhetoric, but it's the opinion that that person wants their sheep to have. So this is happening all the time in the news, even in Canada, to some extent. I can point this out. Again, you silly people primates, or the actual name of your species, you silly Homo communia.